I've got a confession to make. I've never completed Zelda Breath of the Wild, even though I was one of those people who got the Nintendo Switch and the game at launch. During my first playthrough, I got stuck at the second Divine Beast, which for me was the Fire Blight Ganon, and I kinda got bored and went back to playing Street Fighter. I was talking to a friend recently, and as we were on the topic of stress and anxiety, one of the things he recommended was that I seek out a new hobby. You have friends? Yes, I do have friends, and no, they aren't imaginary, unlike you. Gaming as a hobby is nothing new to me, but in recent years, I've spent most of my time playing fighting games, which are by nature competitive. For a non-professional player like me, nothing much is actually at stake when you're playing Street Fighter or any other fighting games, except maybe for pride. Even then, it can still be quite stressful because you're trying to outsmart your opponent. I mean, it's a fun kind of stress, but you're still playing to win instead of trying to immerse yourself in a fictional world. So over the weekend, I booted up Breath of the Wild for the first time in almost 3 years and started a new game. I'm not here to sing the praises of Breath of the Wild because it is one of those very rare games that are universally loved, unless you are trying to get a doctorate in contrarianism. This time around, I found myself enjoying the game a lot more than I did last time, and that got me wondering why. What was I doing differently to make the game more enjoyable? I remember being very frustrated by the game at first. I died a lot and I wondered why I was constantly low on health and resources. I was constantly being killed by everything. By a pack of weak enemies, by one single tougher enemies, by falling from height because I run out of stamina, and by heat, by cold, by being run over by otherwise non-antagonistic wild animals. And the list goes on and on. Apparently, I was quite slow to catch on, like a person who is completely obtuse about their partner's not so subtle hints. Honey, do you think my wrist looks a little bare? If only there were something to make it sparkle and glow. Well, it could use some moisturizing. Well, it turns out that the game was dropping so many hints on essential game mechanics to help players survive, and every one of them just flew right over my head. For example, the game doesn't explicitly say that learning to cook is essential for survival, unlike my mother, but it does place pots everywhere, and I mean everywhere, even in places like some random shed on a cliff. It's as if the game was trying to get me to cook. But there I was running around wondering why I was dying from hypothermia and running out of apples. In the game, eating 3 apples separately will replenish your 1.5 heart containers, but when you cook 3 apples, the healing effect doubles. Stealth was another game mechanic I ignored in the past, and the game was like, attacking strong enemy head on is dangerous and a poor strategy, especially if you're low on resources. You can walk slowly, crouch walk, or eat food that will make you more stealthy in order to avoid fighting them. And me be like, for tonight, armed with only a ladle, I shall ignore sound advice and charge straight into a group of 5 enemies I mostly can defeat. In 2017, I mainly played my Switch in handheld mode without using headphones. Nowadays, I've been playing the console more often in dock mode, because I'm older and my sight and hearing are deteriorating. This means that I've been exploring Breath of the Wild on my 24-inch monitor rather than the Switch's 6.2-inch screen. I've also plugged in a decent pair of headphones instead of trying to rely on the tiny speakers on the Switch. As a wise man once said, size does matter, or something like that. Or maybe I made that up. But size does really help in this case. Playing on a bigger screen allowed me to better appreciate the world that Nintendo built. I began to notice every tiny details that greatly increased the level of immersion. The clouds rolling across the sky, the clear pristine water, non-hostile wildlife roaming the game world, and even individual blades of grass that look so good on the screen. And this really brings out the game's brilliant physics engine, which in many ways closely mirrors real life. I also really recommend playing this game with a pair of headphones. The game has without a doubt an excellent soundtrack, but its sound design makes the experience so immersive. When you are exploring the game world, you can hear footsteps, leaves rustling, birds chirping, gentle clanking of your equipment, water flowing, and I especially like how the game sounds when you walk through grassy landscape during a rain. When you are not engaged in combat, there is almost a very ASMR-like quality to the game. It's the kind of calm and tranquility you experience when taking a stroll in the woods on a rainy day. Except the part about getting wet, dirty, and bitten by mozzies. This newfound level of immersion has allowed me to enjoy doing even the most mundane of things in the game. For example, traversing the landscape. In the past, I was just focused on searching for shrines, solving them, fighting monsters, and advancing the main quest. But now I find myself just walking around, admiring the landscape, and even taking pictures of wildlife. Overall, I've been having a lot of fun just horsing around in the game world. I've just got the Master Sword yesterday, so watch out, Ganon. Also, I've been thinking about streaming games at some point. Because of the pandemic, I have to be more financially prudent at the moment, and when things get better, I may just get a capture card to stream games like Zelda or Animal Crossing. I'm not too sure if any of you will be interested, so let's see. Anyway, as always, thank you for watching this video to the very end. Feel free to pat the like button gently if you like this video, and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so yet. And as always, stay safe, and until next time.